What do we have here? Silent auction. Got a PS1, a PlayStation 3, and the ultra rare PS360. That might actually be worth bidding on. Hello and welcome to another Friday pickup video. And I know I said that this would be out last Friday, but my wife and kids surprised me with a Father's Day trip to Pittsburgh. So we ended up going to the Carnegie Science Center and the Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium, and having a couple of days to actually drive around Pittsburgh was pretty neat. I like the layout. You know, you've got the main city proper down by the river, and then you have little pockets of city surrounding that all through the hills, and it was really cool to drive through and see that. So Pittsburgh, actually a pretty neat city to visit. Now, because of that, I didn't get to post a video last week. I did get to spend a little bit of time cleaning up back here. You can see behind me it looks a little bit better. If you can see that side of the room, it's a disaster. If you can see behind the couch behind me, it's not pretty, but baby steps. A little bit here and there whenever I have time, slowly moving forward. Hopefully I'll be able to get it all cleaned up and maybe do some kind of room tour. But don't get your hopes up. That could be a very long time from now. Pickup video. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to divide it again. This week is going to be all the Nintendo stuff, and then next week will be everything else. And the reason I'm doing that is, by the time I sorted it all out, it's a lot of stuff. It would take forever. And even though I'm going to have to break up a couple of the pickups into two separate videos, sacrifices had to be made. So, there you go. 2 more pickup videos at least, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe do that Laserdisc thing I was talking about. Alright, this pickup video, Nintendo. I'm going to start off with the Wii U stuff, and I'm going to start off with some accessories. First couple of accessories I'm going to show you here. The AC adapter for the Wii U gamepad, and a Wii U charging cradle for the Wii U gamepad. These were from a Goodwill. They were marked at $2 and $3. Pink was the 50% off color, so I ended up getting these for $2.50. You might wonder why I'd want another Wii U charger, but my son likes to take the gamepad up into his room because it's directly above the family room, and he can play games from his room from the gamepad. So having this to set up in his room so he doesn't have to run thing completely dead and then bring it down will be pretty helpful, I think. We'll see. Alright, then, some other accessories here. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you will have seen some of this stuff already. Probably all of this stuff if you look at all my posts. But I was in BJ's Wholesale Club, and for those of you that don't have it, it sounds ridiculous, and it is a pretty ridiculous name. I wish I could remember what their slogan used to be when they first opened up around here, but it was even worse than the name BJ's. Yeah, they have all of their Wii U stuff discounted, and I've been picking it up. I picked up, first, a Pro Commander controller from Nyko, or Nico, or however you pronounce that. I would call that Nyko. Looks like Nyko. I don't know. Easier to pronounce that way for me. But this is actually really good. I've got it sitting here somewhere. We've been using this. The thing is made pretty well. I like it. And this was $10. It was $9.99 discounted. And at the same time, I picked up a couple of these. These are Wiimotes, Wii Motion Plus Wiimotes for the Wii U. And these were $14.99 at the BJ's that I picked them up at. I ended up finding them other places at other BJ's, but they're $19.99 there. Also, Best Buy has their stuff discounted as well, and I believe these are $19.99 at Best Buy. So don't pick these up at Walmart. If you want to get them, $19.99 is a good place. If you happen to be in the Canton, Ohio store, you can pick them up. Well, 2 weeks ago, you could pick them up for $14.99. I did. So I bought 2 of those. And then I found some other stuff at another BJ's. This one was in Cuyahoga Falls. I picked up a charging station and batteries for the 2 new Wiimotes. And I also picked up, because they had 2 more of these for $10 each. The charging station and batteries were, I think, $10.50. So, I don't know. Do I need 3 of these? Not really. But they're really nice to play with. And for $10... I figured I'd buy them. I may end up reselling them because I have no reason to have 3 of them. I got a little carried away. What can I say? And then I'm going to show you a couple of these things. I've been finding these all over the place. And granted, I found these before I found the Wii Motion Plus versions. But I have got 2 Wiis and a Wii U in this house. And it seems like you can never find a Wiimote when you want it. So when I see these things laying around for a couple of bucks, I pick them up. I picked up this one here. I think this was $1.99. And then I picked up these two together, and they were both $1.99. One did not have a back on it. I think it's because it came from the same owner, and this one came with an Energizer rechargeable battery, which isn't going to do me much good because I don't have the charger for it. So I think it was just missing that back off of here. I do have some rechargeable batteries I can put in here, and I've got backs for these laying all over the place. But yeah, for a couple of bucks each, I picked those up, got 3 more Wiimotes. Now I'll have some for down here and upstairs and upstairs, if that makes any sense to you. And then I got a couple of Wii U games. A lot of you will have seen that I've been playing Mario Kart 8. Got this a couple weeks ago. Picked this up with I picked this up from the exchange, actually used. They had a copy of this used less than a week after the game came out. I got it for, what was it, $10 off, and it still had the points, and the points were still good, so Lance and I were able to get a free game off the Wii U, whatever they call the Virtual Console. Is it called Virtual Console? I don't know. Whatever it's called, we got a free downloadable game, and they weren't crap games either. We ended up getting, what did he want? The Zelda Wind Waker HD remake, which is, I think, a $50 or $60 game if you bought it new. So, no joke, man. You buy a game, and then you get a full version of a game for free. I think the other choices were Mario, Wii U, I don't know. Go look online. You can see what the choices were. So, very cool. Got 2 games for less than the price of one, actually. And then I was in a Best Buy, Lance and I were, and we were looking through their Wii U games there. They didn't have a lot of great deals there, but they did have one. I picked up Zombie U for $10. Haven't had a chance to play this yet. We just got it a few days ago, and I haven't really had a chance to play anything recently. I haven't even played Mario Kart 8 since I picked that up. But Mario Kart 8, great game. This is the first real reason to truly own a Wii U. And is it worth going out and buying a Wii U just to get it? Not really. But they've got some really good games coming out soon, so it will be worth going out and getting a Wii U, especially if the rumors of them marking the console down a little bit more end up being true. It is, however, worth getting this so that you can play with us other YouTubers that have it, so I don't know. Maybe you get it for that reason. I'm going to show you some other accessories that I got, and you know what? Now I'm going to start with this. I picked up this thing here, again. All of this stuff at some point or other was shown on Facebook, and if I just hit the mic, I apologize. But I walked through a Goodwill with my friend Eldon. We checked out a couple of them that day, and we were walking towards the back of the store. We were taking a different route because I was kind of letting him take the lead. And from across the store, he says, "Ooh, Nintendo 64!" And this is what he saw. It was sitting on top of one of those metal carts that they have in the stores, and you could just barely make out the top of this game here. And it is a green Nintendo 64, got all the wires, got a controller, and this game was in it. It's a little bit chewed up. They wanted $20 for it. Some dog has just chewed the ever-loving crap out of that. I tested it. It does actually work. So for $20, I got a, what are these called? Watermelon green, jungle green? I don't know. It's green. It's a green Nintendo 64, and I think this is the 3rd one of these I've got. And I've got like 5 or 6 of the green controllers. So it is not the first one of those I had. It is not the last. Everything does work, including the game that has been half-eaten by somebody's dog. Next, this stuff was all picked up from the same location, although not all at the same time. I think I even have some video of one of these. You know what? I think I have video of a couple of different things. But I can't remember what I have video of. I know I have video of this, so I'm going to insert the video right here. The ultra-rare PS360 up front, but NES controllers, Super Nintendo, couldn't pass on the PlayStation, and a Game Boy. I'll take these. And what you will have saw in the video is a Super Nintendo, the Model 2 or the SNES Junior, whatever you want to call it. It was $9.99, and it's got some games in here. We'll open that in just a second. Also, of the stuff that you saw sitting there, I picked up this right here. Little NES controller package, and it has inside the 2 NES controllers. They both work. They're both in very good shape. They don't look new, but they're in very good condition. And also from that store, although these were on a separate trip, and I've got stuff I'm going to show you next week that I got this stuff with, I found another Wii controller. And again, remember, this is before I found all the Wii U stuff. This one was $2.99. To me, it was worth spending $2.99 to get this, and it does in fact work. And in that trip that I got this Wiimote and the other stuff that I'm going to show you next week, I found a game called Space Station Silicon Valley for the Nintendo 64. This was, oh, right on the front there, 99 cents. So I wasn't going to leave that sitting there. And I don't know, this is like a $15, $20 game, I think, maybe? I've never heard of it before. On to this thing here. This thing. We're going to see what's in here as soon as I can figure out how to get it open. It's like a whole bunch of tape and stuff. Probably sounds really good since it's right next to the microphone, huh? Alright, games. We've got Ken Griffey Major League Baseball. There's a winner. Madden 96. God, that's a lot of tape. NCAA Basketball. NBA Live 96. Come on out of there, you. NHLPA Hockey 93. And what else we got in here? Ah, there we go. And a copy of Super Mario World, which you expect to find with every Super Nintendo. Then there are a couple of controllers in here. There is an original Super Nintendo controller, and then there's one of these ASCII-ware controllers. And it is missing the power supply and AV wires, but I've got all kinds of extra power supplies and AV wires for these, so that won't be a problem. $10 for the Super Nintendo, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. One of the games was worth getting in Super Mario World. A couple of Nintendo 64 games here I'm going to show you first. These came from the Volunteers of America thrift store in, Mansfield, Ohio. And I picked these up, honestly, because they're only 90 cents, and 64-bit Matthew would have told me to pick them up. So, I got Rampage 2 Universal Tour and Diddy Kong Racing for 90 cents. Now, I didn't have Rampage. I do have a copy of Diddy Kong Racing, but this one can go in my son's collection. They are, however, filthy. I don't know if you can see on there. I've got the autofocus turned off on my camera because it screws everything up. But they're just disgusting. I'm surprised I haven't gotten some kind of communicable disease from these yet. Anyway, those were $1.80 for the 2 games. And then I was in a Goodwill that I haven't found anything in, or at least anything worth buying, in ages. And the last one was a copy of, Zelda for the Nintendo 64, Gold Cart. And Majora's Mask. I found a copy of Majora's Mask there sitting with the Christmas stuff. And that was probably 2 years ago. And then before that, it was probably another year before that, 3 years ago. One of my very first videos here on YouTube was Goodwill Honey Hole Parts 1 and 2. I found just a ton of Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games over the course of about 3 days. And I think the second video I posted actually had some footage from the third visit there. And still, they just, every time I went back, it seemed like they were putting more and more stuff out. Haven't seen anything worthwhile since then. Well, I went in one day, there was a whole stack of Nintendo 64 games, bunch of Nintendo 64 sports games, and mixed in with all those was Snowboard Kids 2. And again, this was posted on Facebook. This is by Atlas. This is, from what I understand, a pretty uncommon and valuable game. Also, it's surprisingly fun. I played this, and for lack of a better way to describe it, it kind of plays like Mario Kart 64. I don't know. If you haven't played it, I can't really describe it. For those of you that have, you know what I compare it to. Alright, then, completely separate trip, weeks later, I go in, same place, and they have like 2 stacks of Nintendo games there. And I'm going to show you some of the footage that you know what? I'll show you what I found first, and then I'll show you the footage. First off, I just bought 3 games that were in those piles that I didn't have. They were $3 a piece, so I wasn't going to buy up everything, but I bought 3 games I didn't have. First, I got Miss Pac-Man from Tengen, and these carts are filthy, but they're not damaged or anything. They should clean up really easy. Then, well, now I'll show you the video. these are the other 2 games that I found. Check out the video.
So I'm looking around and I found a couple of games. There's one that I don't own, one that I was going to get from my brother Jim, and then I come down here and find Color a Dinosaur and DuckTales 2. Sweet.
Well, there you go. I was as surprised as you probably are right now, if you haven't already seen this on Facebook. Color a Dinosaur, which is a game I will probably not keep. I'll be honest with you. I have no interest in having this in my collection. Not a game that I'm going to ever be playing. And I don't collect games that I don't think I will ever play if I can help it. So this one, because it's valuable, I'm probably going to sell it off and use that money to buy games that I really want to have. This other game, though, DuckTales 2, I will be keeping this one. Even though this is a very popular, very expensive game, I think I'll keep this one in my collection. I haven't sat down and played it yet, but I've played it before in emulation, and it's a pretty decent game. I actually like the first one better, but this is pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. Really surprised. Have been in that Goodwill probably 100 times, at least 100 times, since the last time I found good stuff. And then in the span of a couple of weeks, I find 3 valuable games in there. So, it just goes to show you, man, you really, truly never know what you're going to find, where, and when. So you have to go in, you have to look, because you might find DuckTales 2 and Color a Dinosaur and Snowboard Kids 2 in the same location that you haven't found anything for years.
I made you a surprise. I didn't realize I had the light on. I made you a surprise. I call it Funny Mushroom.
You made me a funny mushroom oh dear God.
You remember that time you used a high-powered pressure washer to spray Jim Sucks permanently into my concrete?
I do recall that.
So I give you
How much time?
a funny mushroom. Isn't it nice? It looks just like a mushroom. This is my first chainsaw carving.